Steve Kerr, a 2-year deal, $35 million, highest paid coach in the league, in league history, $17.5 million per year per Woj. Man, I always thought that it would go like this, right? Pop sticks around for a couple of years, mentors, tutors Wemby, and then Steve Kerr takes over for Pop, right? His mentor. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Maybe he just finishes up in Golden State. Are you surprised by that at all, Peach? Just because I know the Warriors got hot before the All-Star break, and I know you could never really count out the Warriors. But still, man, I'm actually a little surprised because I thought if anything, like in a year or two, the Warriors might have to blow that thing up and rebuild it.
Yeah, obviously Kerr's had so much success with Golden State. I think this is just kind of, it looks like they're going to ride this thing out to the end, right? With Steph, Clay, and Draymond, and they want Steve to be there with them. And then I think they'll reassess things in the next couple of years, see where they're at. And I think your logic with San Antonio makes a lot of sense. I think that's a really good one. We'll see what Steve ends up doing, but crazy, man. Highest paid coach in league history, $7.5 million a year. That's pretty good.
I like Wake tomorrow. Wake's a 2.5-point favorite over Duke tomorrow. I mean, Duke is obviously hot right now, and I think Duke's a good team. I like Duke come tournament time. Like you said, I mean, I don't trust them if they go up, if they get a matchup where a team could get physical with them. I like Filipowski. If Proctor's healthy, I think that obviously helps. I like the freshmen that they have there too. Wake, though, has been a fun story all season long, where, I mean, their odds in the ACC were absolutely ridiculous coming into the season. I believe they were like 100-1 to win the ACC. They're not going to win the ACC, but they're 17-9. They're home here. They're 2.5-point favorites. Total's 151.5. I like Wake. Anything for you in this one, or are you staying away from here?
Staying away. I would also lean with Wake as well. I would probably just take them on the money line. Duke right now, Ryan, they're just doing what they did last year, man. They're getting on a roll right now at the end of the year, and all the pressure is on Wake. I'll tell you the bet I do like in this game. If Wake gets up and we can take Duke at a +7.5, +8.5, something of that nature, I would like Duke live plus the points. Because Wake knows if they win this game, they're in the tournament. So it's not going to be easy. Yeah. It's going to be tough for them. It's their first sellout that they're having at Wake since 2017, right? So obviously everybody in Winston-Salem's fired up for this game. They get to play Duke. It's going to be an awesome environment. I do think they win. I would take them on the money line if I were to bet it, but I do think waiting to see how this game plays out, trying to get a number live with Duke, I think that'd be the way to go.
Well, I would have to say it's probably Clemson or Wake Forest. Both of those teams were picked to be, I believe, 8th or lower, and there they are, second, third and fourth, right behind the two big boys. So I would say them. I'll tell you something else too. A lot of people have just kind of gotten sour on Duke and on John Shire, and very quietly, I believe that they've won 13 out of 15, and they have creeped above Carolina in the national rankings. And I'm starting to buy. I'm starting to think that Duke is kind of figured it out. And I mean, who ever thought Duke could be a dark horse in the tournament? But I mean, I like the Blue Devils a lot too.
By the way. So I have 3 things that I have to do tomorrow. I have to wake up, bet Kentucky a little bit more. I have to have my Saturday morning, vacation mimosas. And then the last thing that I got to do tomorrow, Paige, is I got to check out BetQL. I got to check out YouTube, of course, Twitch, because BetQL is adding a 4-time Super Bowl champion to the network tomorrow. And that will be Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator and genius, in my opinion, Steve Spagnuolo. He's going to join Kate Constable and Cameron Smith on the Better Angle tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So you could listen to that anywhere on the go with the Odyssey app, or you could watch on Twitch TV /BetQL. Spags. Yeah, I'm going to do what I did last year and just hope that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt again. And I'm going to take probably Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's numbers this year even, man. I mean, he had 20. He had 95 receptions this year, with the combination of guys that he had throwing the football, like Zach Wilson for the majority of the season. But he had 95 receptions this year, over 1,000 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns, but he averaged 11 yards per reception. As a rookie, he had 83 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. I expect those numbers to go up if Aaron Rodgers is able to stay healthy. The problem is that offensive line is a mess, but I mean, I would assume David Bakhtiari is most likely going to be a cap casualty by Green Bay, and the Jets will bring him in. If he could stay healthy, even if it's just like for like 70% of the season, yeah, I feel good about Rodgers being able to maybe stay healthy. And then I think Garrett Wilson could have a huge year. He just needs a quarterback, man. But like, look at those numbers, 95 grabs with Zach Wilson and, a bunch of bums as his quarterback this year. T. Higgins going to be franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals going to go all in for one more Super Bowl run. And I got to be honest with you, Peach. Like last year, I wasn't like out on the Bengals saying that they're going to have a losing season. And they did end up missing the playoffs. But I was worried a little bit, injury regression. Also about the defensive side of the ball. They lost some pieces. They lost Jesse Bates. This season, I'm kind of all in on the Bengals. I feel like if anybody could dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs, at least in the AFC, it'll be the Bengals. Because it's got to be like a guy that if he's got to go into Arrowhead or if he gets to host that game, that has the swag, the confidence to actually beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And I feel like right now that's Joe Burrow. You can't really knock Josh Allen and say that he can't beat the Chiefs. It really hasn't been his fault when they haven't beat the Chiefs. I mean, Stephon Diggs had that huge drop, obviously, in the playoffs this year. And a couple of years ago, Josh Allen just didn't get the ball in overtime. That's why we changed the overtime rules, right? But, yep. I mean, I'm pretty high on the Bengals now that they're bringing back T. Higgins. One more run with that team. And even if they lose some guys on the defensive side of the ball, or they have the last 2 years, Lou Anarumo is a really good coordinator. Not quite as good as Spags, but really good, especially at second half adjustments. That's huge. Now, T. Higgins is going to have to ball out if he wants to get that huge deal. He's going to get a big deal regardless. I also want to wait and see what happens here, though, because we've also seen this happen where teams have offered up the franchise tag, and guys have been like, nope, not playing for it. But I think T gets like close to $20 million, so he'll probably take that.
Yeah, he's going to get some good money. This is what I expected to have happen, right? Boyd and Higgins were both free agents. I always thought they were going to franchise tag T. I think they're going to let Boyd walk. They're going to draft a receiver and have him be T. Higgins' heir apparent. Obviously, you got to still pay Jamar Chase. You just paid Burrow. So we know Chase and Burrow are going to be Bengals forever. I think T. Higgins, this is last year in Cincinnati. Then they're going to let him walk. And the Bengals are hoping that they hit on whatever rookie that they take in this upcoming year's draft, and he can be the number 2 of the future alongside with Jamar Chase.